Hi everyone, and thanks for joining. It's Friday and it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some different things using baby wipes. It's called the baby wipe technique, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to create cards using baby wipes and the ink refills. So we're going to use Blackberry Bliss, Old Olive. I love to do this in the fall. Pumpkin pie, crushed curry, Calypso coral, and granny apple green. So I love to make cards in the fall using leaves, using this technique. You can use it on flowers. You want to use it on a full stamp, and I'm going to show you how to do it with die cutting and a background stamp. I just learned the background stamp one. But anyway, I just have some plain old baby wipes. And, you know, I bought these the other day in preparation of this, and I kind of wish I had bought different ones. So if you don't have them, I mean, I could have gotten them from my daughter, but I didn't think to get them from her. Ooh, there must be some, you can use these to clean up too. There must be some ink on this bottle. So I guess the top, I got some ink on the edge of the top on this. So now I'm full. I just washed my hands. So anyway, back to the wipes. These have like a pattern in it, which kind of isn't the greatest for this technique, but it will work fine. So if you are buying baby wipes to do this technique, you might want to try to see if you can have them without the pattern. I'm sure the pattern is in there for some reason to help when you're wiping the babies. And I'm just folding 3 of them. I kind of don't want the fold to be on the edge. So I'm layering 3 of them, and this is a stamp case. I keep my chamois cleaning in here, so I took one out. I have 2 in here now, so I could use the case. And you can get these cases from us. We carry them. I think you can buy a pack of them. So what we're going to do is just put some ink all over this, and I'm going to do the whole thing because I'm going to show you a couple of different things. So I'm going to start with some greens, Old Olive, and we'll just squeeze some dots, and some of them squeeze out faster than others. And I'm really going to go all over. And this is going to give you a nice colorful fall leaf looking. And then this is granny apple green, and you won't even be able to tell the difference. See how fast this one comes out. I don't know if it's because one is old or not. And then let's do some pumpkin pie, because we want some nice orange in our leaves, right? And you could pick whatever colors you want. If you're doing flowers, you might want to do pinks and oranges and yellows. But I thought I would do some greens and then some other colors and just plop it everywhere. All right. And then we'll do some Calypso coral. This is going to look similar. See, now this one comes out fast. And then we'll do some crushed curry, or any kind of yellow. So you can use whatever colors you have. And it's funny because I had this on my calendar to do this, and then I saw we have the artisan team at Stamping Up, and they always do a technique. And one of the techniques I'm going to do today, which I didn't know about, I caught on I think it was on Instagram or Facebook. One of the artisan people did this technique, and I was like, oh, perfect timing, because I am doing the baby wipe technique. All right, so we have it nice and full. All right, so we're going to put these aside, and the first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of cardstock and lay it over here, and I'm going to put it to the side because I want it to dry. And I am using the thick basic white, and this is 5.5 by 4.25, so it's a 1/4 sheet. But you'll see it kind of bleeds through a little bit because it's wet. And that's why I want it to just come over here, and we're just gonna put it aside, okay? And I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it. The next thing we're going to do is the thing I always do, and that is just stamping it. So I am using the Autumn Leaf stamp set. It's got some nice filled in leaves, and we're gonna create our own background layer. So let me get, this is a piece of regular basic white, and I am going to get a piece of my grid paper, because I'm going to go off. So we're going to create a background layer, and I am using the largest stamp first, and then the smallest, or medium, and then the smallest. I always like to start with the largest, and we're going to just press this in. You don't want to move it around. You want to just press down, lift it up, and stamp. Okay, press down. I'm on the edge here. There we go. And then stamp. See how pretty it is? And you can clean it between if you want to make sure you're getting, you know, you're getting different colors. You're not getting the same color over and over again, if you'd like. And then we'll do one more of these. And I like to go off the page. Okay, and then we can work on this one. And you're just going to get like different colors. Isn't that pretty? Oops. Oops, I got that like a little bit stuck. And you want to go off the edge of the paper. And then we'll fill in with these little leaves. I would kind of wish they were separate. And I know you can cut them, but we'll fit them in. So this you can just use over and over again. You can make a whole bunch of cards if you wanted to. I feel like I want to get in there, but I'm going to leave it. Okay, so this is the second one, and we'll finish the card. I just wanted to get all my stamping done. And then the last thing, this is the one that I learned from the, trying to look for that paper that I had. I had another sheet. Here it is. I put it underneath something. This is what I learned from the artisan. So we're going to get a big background stamp. So I'm using the Botanical Beauty. And it's this big stamp. And let me get, we don't sell this anymore. This is the big block. But you can use a Stampin', like a stamp positioning if you wanted to tool. So we're going to just push this down right on here. And I guess I could have gone a little bit bigger, but I think it's okay because we're going to cut it down in size. And we're just going to push this down, lift up the stamp. It's going to have all these different colors on it. I'm going to put this aside, get my paper out, and I'm going to just lay it down here and try not to move it. And I'm going to get my brayer. And if you don't have a brayer, you could probably just press it. So I'm just going to just press it down like this, just to get it down. We don't want to shift it though. So just to press it. But again, if you don't have the brayer, I think you can just press it down with your hands. Okay, and let's see what it looks like. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? And I am going to cut this down a little bit because I did make it 5 by 4 1/4, so I'm going to cut it down to 5 by 5 1/4 by 4. Or it was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, kind of a quarter sheet. So I'm going to cut it down so that it fits nicely. So now we have 3 different looks. This I'm going to still let dry. This one I'll cut down a little bit. Okay, so let's cut this down to, I'm going to cut a little bit off of each side. And then I'll cut it down. Let me cut it this way to 4 because it looks like there's enough on that side. I went out to the edge there, and then 5 1/4. Okay. So now we have a layer, and then we have this one. Now let's see how this one, if it's dry, this other one. Let's see how this is. This feels dry enough. So now what I'm going to do is use the dies that come with this, which I have right here. Okay, the autumn leaf dies. And this is great because it cuts out these big stamped images, but it also has these small, and this I love, these little leaves that we can use to die cut from this piece we just created with the baby wipes. So let's put this aside here. Okay, and let's get our die cutting machine out. Okay, and I'm just going to put these around. I kind of wish I had more color on the middle, but I didn't want to go back, and sometimes if you go and mush it around too much, you end up with kind of a muddy, murky looking thing. So let's see how this all works. All right, and I wouldn't do it while it was wet. I would try to just let it dry a little bit. And I probably could put the leaves a little bit closer together to get more out of this, but I just wanted to give you an idea, a couple of ideas, actually 3 ideas of what you can do with this. Let's see how these come out, and then we'll see if we want more. So here's one. Isn't that beautiful? And I think having a little bit of white in it is really pretty. So let me stuck a little bit. I think they're gorgeous, actually. I don't know if we have enough. I might do another round if I can fit some more in, just to have a good amount. And I might just lay these all and make another background. And I'll just clean this off. It kind of got stained a little bit, but that's okay. So let's do this one and this one. And let's see if we can squeeze a couple of these small ones in here. All right, we'll leave these aside. And let's put this on. I think we're good until I move it, and then we're not good. So let's put this down and keep going. And if you don't want to put so much ink on it for this one, you could do it in a couple of rounds. You don't have to use a whole big piece of cardstock if you don't want to use that much of your ink. You know, if you only wanted to do maybe half of this, you could press it down a couple of times. But I'm going to close this because this will stay. You can use this probably tomorrow, maybe even the next day. I'm not sure how long it stays, but it'll stick around for a little bit. I think this will throw out. Put these together. Let me just get this one. It is a little bit wet. Let's do this. So the other side of this is kind of a flat paddle here. What I really need to do is get a new plate. It's getting all beat up here. I'm trying to get an end that might be up. I think I really put it, there we go. I think I really dug it in there. So let's put this aside. And we have, look at my hands. So I'm going to just put this the other way again. And then we can poke these out. So we have like all these makings of cards. And now let's put some cards together using them. Okay, beautiful. Look at that. It looks like outside, I'll tell you right now, it's just beautiful. outside where I live in Pennsylvania. So let's get a layer, and I'm just going to, I think, add these onto a layer, just kind of like this background, but instead of stamped, it'll be this way. So I have a white layer, and let's just put these around. And see what we can come up with. And I'll just trim off the edges once we figure them out. I have too many big ones. Just arrange them. All right. I probably could use another one, but we'll put a sentiment in it. So what do you think of that? I think that looks good. So I am just going to glue these down, and I'll probably speed this up as I glue. You don't need to see the paint dry, right? And I'm going to put a sentiment in the middle. Okay, so on this one, I think I might want to flick some. If I had little dots, I think I would stamp them around here and even on here. Let me see if I have some. So I found some dots on this Note of Nature. This is what I'm talking about. So what I think I'll do is, I have some inks. I have Granny Apple Green, Pumpkin Pie, and Blackberry Bliss. I think I'm going to stamp this just to add some, and I'm just going to, this is going to be a little bit tough. Let me get, I'm going to use this scrap just to cover it. All right. I think that's good. Maybe a little bit right up here. So that's one thing. And then the other way is on this one, it's probably going to get on here, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to use that flicking technique where you take your marker, and you could do this with Stampin' Blends or Stampin' Right markers, and you just flick. And it gives it kind of a splattered look. I just feel like there's a lot of white. And I know sometimes I like white on my card, but sometimes it feels like it needs to have something filling it in. So hopefully you can see how that works. Okay, so now we have 3 card layers. And then I have 3 different colors. I thought we would use Blackberry Bliss for this one. And then this is Granny Apple Green, and we've got to trim those leaves off. And then Pumpkin Pie. All right, so let's trim these leaves off. These are still a little damp. If I wasn't doing a video, I'd probably let this dry just a little bit more, but we're going with it. So we're going to just trim this off, and I like to trim off from the back because you can see exactly where to trim it. Okay. All right. And then we have to come up with sentiments. Okay, so I realized I was going to use these sentiments, but I realized this is no longer available. It is retired. And so I use the stamp, but these kind of splatters are in a lot of different stamp sets, or you can just use the marker like I said. So I am going to use 2 of the sentiments from here. I'm thankful, and autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. So we're going to start with, let's see, let's start with this card. And let us, I'm thinking while we're going, let's put some linen thread on this. I'm getting low on this, but I think I will use this one. And we'll just wrap it around the cord. I like to put some Scotch tape on it, on the back. And we'll just wrap it around like 3 times. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we'll just cut this off and tape that down. And then we can put it on the cord base. So we're just coming and going as we get this cord done. I'm kind of doing it on the fly. I have this sentiment. I'm thankful, and I think we'll do that in Blackberry Bliss just to break it up a little bit. It's a color in there, so I think it's okay. And you know me, I love my Blackberry Bliss. I'm thankful. Okay, and let's put this down on the card base. I'm really getting, I got lots of stuff all around me. So let's just put this down right on here. And pumpkin pie is just a fun, bright color. And then let's put some dimensionals on the back of this. I feel like I'm very, very inky here. I'm afraid to touch anything. And then we can just tie a bow. All right, let's tie a bow with this and call it done. Is this the right color? No, this is the right color. And this is not linen thread. I think I said linen thread, but this is the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And there's also white, which I've gone through. So it's got like very vanilla, black, crumb cake. And I'm not sure what the other color is. I think this is crumb cake. I'll have to find that out. But they're nice neutral colors. And you can do this with multiple strands if you wanted to. Let's get this straight. And then we'll cut it. And I feel like this, I'm going to put another little piece of dimensional down here. Sometimes if you have a ribbon, I try to go above and below the ribbon, which I didn't do. But see, this is kind of pushing up to the top. So let's just put a couple of dimensionals down at the bottom, just pieces, so it's not leaning to the top. Okay, come on. All right. And then we'll put this here, and then we should be able to press it down and have it sit nice. Okay, and then let's put this down on it with a glue dot. I know there's going to be a long video because I'm doing a lot of different things, but if you just watch the beginning for the technique, I think you'll learn some fun things to do with your baby wipes and your ink bottles. I'll just put that there. I've got to play with this. I don't want to waste your time here, but, and then we should probably put some kind of a gem on it. So let me do the other ones and then we'll figure out the bling. And then we'll do the insides as well. All right, so let's go with card number 2. And this has the Blackberry Bliss. So I'm going to use this beautiful ribbon. Let me get it. Isn't this pretty? So let's put this down. I just like to cut it a little bit longer than the layer. And get my Scotch tape. And you can put it in the middle, toward the top, wherever you want it. And just put the piece of tape here. And then we can attach this to the card base. It's so pretty. And then this one, I use the dies. So these 2 dies are from this, where the leaves are. So I'll use this one. I've already used it. I just left them out so you could see them. I want to put them back so I don't lose them, because I tend to lose things. I have a couple of dies that I don't know what they go with. And I will figure that out one of these days. But I have this cut already, and I have the sentiment. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful, and I thought that would go here. And I'm going to do this also in Blackberry Bliss just because I love it, and I think it's a nice autumn color. And I'll probably just stamp the inside, but not put a sentiment. And on this one, I'm going to put dimensionals on, and I'm going to put them at the top and the bottom so I don't have that ribbon issue, although this is a thinner ribbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll put this here. And I love the gold on this, so let's tie a bow with this one. All right. We're getting there. Use our ribbon scissors. And put this right like that. Okay, let's get a dimensional, or not a dimensional, a glue dot. And sometimes I'll put on a couple of glue dots just to make sure it stays. I don't know if you ever have your stack of cards and then you find a ribbon, a bow somewhere, and you're like, well, where did that come from? Which card did it come off of? Has that ever happened to you? So I'm going to put 3 of them on, because this is kind of bulky. And you can also do that if you wanted to put it on the ends or the bow itself, if it was kind of funny and you wanted to hold it down. Again, we'll figure out bling on that one. And then we have this last one, and I thought what I would do is make this a birthday card, and I'm not going to put anything through it, so I'm going to go right on it, or put it right down. Okay, and then we're going to use the hexagon punch. And then the sentiment is from Happiest Day, wishing you the happiest birthday. I think this is so cute. So I have that mounted. And what color should we do this? Maybe we'll do this in Granny Apple Green. Put those away, and oh, I have to get just a scrap, right? Wishing you the happiest birthday. All right, and I'm not sure which way I'm going to do this. Will it fit this way? Or that way? I think this way. It fits. I wasn't sure. You never know. I'll put that on there. And we'll do that with some dimensionals. Trying to figure out where to... I'm wondering if I should have put... Maybe I'll put a piece of... let's emboss a strip of the green paper. Let me get something. Okay, so we're going to use a 4x1 piece of Granny Apple Green and the cane weave folder, embossing folder. Let's move everything out of here. I've got so much stuff. And let me get my machine. So this is a 3D embossing folder, which means we need this specialty plate. And we'll just take this out and line it up. I like to try to see the pattern. I use the bottom to make it straight, and I like to make sure kind of it looks like a pretty decent pattern between. All right, put this on, run it through. So a lot of times if I don't use ribbon, I do use an embossed strip, and I think that just makes it nice. So see that? Let's put this aside and get our card back. Let's do it right here. I think that'll be good. And I'm not sure if I will even put dimensionals on this. We'll see. Yeah, I think I will. All right. I'm thinking out loud. So we'll put some dimensionals on this. And this might get a little bumpy too because of this here, but we'll see how it works. So I hope you're enjoying watching me play here. All right, so now we have 3 cards. We need to do 3 insides and then bling for each one. And I am not happy with this bow. We'll make it work. I'll have it nice for the pictures. How's that? All right, so let me see what we have. Well, let's do the insides first, and then I'm going to figure out the bling. So I do have, I thought I had 3 inside layers. Here they are. See, I have them. I just don't know where they are. And I'm probably going to do something similar on each one because I have the baby wipes. Whoops. And I'm probably going to make a mess touching it. So I have this, and I can just rinse this off. It's not a big deal. So let's get, I think I'm going to use this leaf on each one. Or maybe I'll use this and then the smaller ones. I think the big one is way too big. So let's just press it down. And I see it on the side here, so I got to be careful. Okay, so that's one. Then let's do these. All right, not sure I'm crazy about that. It looks a little messy. I'm going to turn it over and do this again. I'm looking at it on the side and I'm like, oh, we'll just do one. Okay. And then this last one, I'm going to do these two. I did this in a class a long time ago when I was doing inside classes, or in my house classes. And this got passed around and it got so mucky because people were all over it. And I had to make a new one because the last people, it wasn't very pretty. So let's put these in each card. And I'm thinking about bling. So give me a minute on that. I might just put some kind of pearls or something. And if you're doing this, you may want to wash your hands between, because I really feel like I'm going to mess up with ink somewhere along the line, because I think I have ink on my fingers. Oops. Okay. One. And then we'll do this one with this one. It kind of goes, right? Two. And then three. Which is your favorite? I love how these came out. I probably should have more of them, or maybe not use it as a background, because I feel like it's a little sparse, but I think the leaves are just gorgeous. Three. Okay, let me find some bling and I will be right back. Okay, we have a winner, winner. So I'm going to use, these are the transparent adhesive back dots. So we've got some Blackberry Bliss in here. So I'm going to just put one right here. You could put gold here because of the gold in the ribbon. And then I have some Granny Apple Green, I think. Could be Lemon Lime Twist. I don't know, but it works. Right here. And then I'm going to put another Blackberry Bliss here, since actually I'm going to use the small one because I feel like it's, or maybe I'll do it on each end. All right, and I will fix that bow. It's driving me crazy. But I think we're done. So 3 cards, 3 different techniques. I hope you give it a try. I think they're all pretty. And again, you could do it with, I love to do it with leaves, or you could do it with flowers. But thanks for joining me. I'm working on next month's calendar, and we'll do the fun folds and all the good stuff. So just in case you're new here, this was my October calendar, and we're at the last Friday, which is make a card using the baby wipe technique. So next month I'll have new Friday fun folds or whatever, and we'll do that on a YouTube video, and then some of these other things you could find on my blog, or just ideas for you to get creative with. So thanks, and have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.